There we go. All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Fearfans podcast. I'm your host, Don Elmy, and let's see, with me is Jeremy, Joe, Nick, and Tom. So I do want to apologize for the technical problems that we've been having, but yeah, we were just trying to fix this issue with links to here. Here, I think somebody's fan's going off again. But
Yeah, Jeremy's sharing the video.
okay, excellent. All right, so yeah, glad that we got that all those technical problems corrected. Yeah, thanks, Jeremy, for helping out with that.
Yeah, good thing we noticed before we got started.
Yes,
It was a pain in the ass, but we got it.
It happens. It happens.
perfect. All right, well, by the way, let's take care of it. Anyway, so tonight we've got a good one for you, a true classic. It's. I figured it's been a while since we covered a Stephen King based film, and it is the time of prom in all high schools, so we figured Carrie, the original version from 1976, directed by Brian De Palma. Yeah, this film just had. There's so many memorable things about this film.
What is that noise?
I think that's Joe's fan.
That's
Oh.
yeah.
It sounds like an old dot matrix printer. I'm like, who the hell still has one of those?
No, I barely, sitting right here next to it, I barely hear it.
It's
That's
different
weird.
for us because we can clearly hear it.
Code Black. Oh, thanks, Code Black.
It
Kate
gets
is the
always
go-to.
warm in this
Microphones
room.
can pick up things we cannot hear.
Probably.
Hey,
How's it going,
I
Alex?
thought it was mine. I
Thanks for tuning
turned
in.
mine off.
Hey, Joanne.
Joanne.
Hey, Thomas. Thanks so much for tuning in.
I just want to throw this out real quick. I'm probably not the first to say. I think this is just really important, for everyone that's been watching. By the way, I'm not trying to change the subject matter, but it's something very important, and this is actually something on behalf of the Things Network. For those of you who have seen some of our previous shows and past shows, I just wanted to basically give a shout out for one of our other show hosts that was previously a member of our network by the name of Bry Dauber, who lived in the UK. He had passed away just a few days ago, and I definitely would like for all of us to give a
Actually,
what's that?
it was yesterday.
Oh, what am I saying? Yeah, I got it mixed up. You're right. It was yesterday too. I got it mixed up because I remember it was the result from a heart attack a month ago. So our thoughts definitely go to his family, his friends, and we are truly sorry for their loss. And I wish him peace. Basically, that's all I can really say.
God rest his soul.
So just wanted to throw that out. Sorry, Don.
I got you. No. If I felt it was necessary to announce that, yes.
Yes.
You know why you're mixing up the days is your head's all clouded up with all that long hair. You got to get it cut off.
Yeah, exactly.
I would never condone anybody growing their hair long. I would never.
Hey, Nick, keep it like mine, short and spiked up.
I like it this way.
Yeah, why do you think I cut my hair off?
See, you grow intelligence when you cut your hair off. As a guy.
Okay. Well, so yeah, so this it's crazy how this movie is about to reach its 50th birthday soon.
It really is. And it's funny that you brought up about Carrie. Just a few months ago, around Halloween, my sister was just watching that movie. Even though she had the baby with her, she was still watching it anyway. So, but of course, Madeline, she was not paying attention to what was being shown.
Yeah, I got you. Well, yeah, so yeah, like this, like I said, it was directed by Brian De Palma. I'm a big fan of his work. He directed Scarface. He directed The Untouchables. So absolutely love that one because that's a historical film for us Chicagoans. And let's see. Oh, and
No
also,
relation to Louis De Palma, the character from Taxi.
right. And also he did Carlito's Way. Oh, and also he directed the first Mission Impossible movie.
Yep.
Yeah,
Really?
Now they got the new one coming out. Excited for that one as well. But
He also did another favorite of mine, Mission to Mars.
oh yeah, that's right. That was back in 2000.
Yep.
Wow. Yes. So yeah, there's plenty. Oh, here. Hey, Braxton. Thanks for tuning in. So yeah, clearly this is. I mean, I can go on all day about how amazing this film is, but I want to know what you guys love best about Carrie.
What do we like best about
Yeah.
Carrie?
Yes. I know.
There was a lot to like.
Yeah, there's
It was, yeah.
I mean, the casting alone was perfect.
Oh yes, and
It had the ultimate jump scare at the end.
and also most importantly too with Carrie's telepathic abilities, with the effects like they used to make it look like she was actually moving things. I mean, I thought was the effects for that was quite impressive.
oh yes. Yeah, like that was amazing way how they adapted it to film with the sort of filmmaking technology that was available back then. I do like the split screen technique that they used, the way Carrie was like looking and
Yes.
Yeah.
and to see it's making things happen. And I like how she actually said in a space Sissy SpaceX said during an interview that during that whole scene, Brian De Palma kept saying, "Open your eyes wider, Sissy, wider."
See that was actually leaning toward that part being what I like the best because after all that blood drips down on her and her eyes go wide, she looks scary as hell.
She did.
Yeah.
It was almost like the ultimate expression of rage that she showed.
And what's her name was horrifying in that too. Piper Laurie. She was. I
Yeah,
was
Yeah.
scared of her as a kid from that movie. I was less scared of Carrie.
yeah. Like yeah. Margaret White was just a complete unhinged psycho. It's like I don't care if you're religious, you don't use religion as an excuse to hide your insanity.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot of people like that do hide religion to hide their insanity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Seen it
I've seen it
firsthand.
too. I've seen it too. I'm not going to say who it was because because I'm figuring that person. Okay, fine. Those two people might be watching right now, but yeah,
Yeah.
they're completely out of their minds.
He's afraid
Yeah,
they're going to come
I know
after him.
that, Tom.
Was probably the perfect personification of how Christians can be the most judgmental people out there.
Yep.
That's a good way to put that.
Yeah,
It really is.
Yeah, I mean, apparently, judge not lest ye be judged somehow just slipped their mind.
So I just want to tell you this quickly, because since this is broadcasting on my page, I just wanted to give just a few shout outs to those who are watching on my page since the comments aren't showing up. Michael Bloomfield just shared this to his American Ghost Stories page.
Oh.
And also we have someone by the name of, that I've seen her before. I hope I'm saying her name correctly. Ajang Sardi. She's watching this all the way from Indonesia.
Ooh,
Oh,
okay.
gee.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, from BB3. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I forgot.
That's where I know
You
her
know
from.
who that is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's who I know her from. That's it. Okay, I was about to say the name sounded familiar. I'm thinking, wait, I've heard that.
I actually forgot you knew who
She actually was an actress as a younger, like as a child. She was a child actress at different points. Like I think she did some stuff as a young adult, and she can
Really?
correct me if I'm wrong, but she was definitely a child actress.
Oh, that's nice.
I've seen a few interviews of her, so it's like, so I've also heard her voice too. She's
cool.
Seems really nice.
Oh,
She
yeah.
came into the backstage a couple times, once or twice, I think, when we were all hanging out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, It's Susie Spacek was in Everything Done. Oh yes, she's amazing, especially in this film. I believe she was nominated for best leading actress. And I also like how she's also.
Oh,
does
there she
the-
is. Speaking of which,
Yeah, she
hey,
is.
AJ.
Oh, hey,
How are ya?
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing my podcast. Appreciate it.
That was Michael
Yeah.
Bloomfield who shared that.
Oh,
Wait, you're going to say hi to Nick, but not to me? You knew me first. What the hell?
But what I was saying about Sissy Spacek, I also love how she did her voice in the audiobook.
I was
Oh.
just going to bring that up. I actually listened to that last year.
Yep.
She did a very good job at that.
Stunned silence for a moment, and then held her face and began to sob.
It's her.
Yeah, she was very good. Okay, now I have to do this because it doesn't make sense not to. But wait, hold on, get rid of that. So we have Nick over here, and then we have Tom. So I'm going to switch you guys so that we have Tom and Nick.
I'm Nick.
I'm
I'm a Nick.
I'm a Nick. Nice.
You know what, Tom? I'm gonna have to talk to you about this later. I got a show idea now.
Oh, no.
Oh man, what have we done?
No,
What have we done?
what you need to do is have Dominic do a show with the three of you so that you can
We've
call
done it.
Tom, Nick, and Dominic.
We've had him on the port
Oh wow.
a few times, and
Okay.
other shows, whatever we used to call it, the community something like that.
Oh yeah. And yeah, Braxton, I guess lots of memorable quotes from Carrie. I am with you on that. And I don't understand why that principal
Right.
kept mishearing like Carrie's name, calling her Cassie. It's like the name with Carrie was just told to you like 5 seconds ago. You guys got the memory of a goldfish.
I mean, like, how difficult is it to just simply say Carrie? Like, how
Exactly.
it's
It's that
just they
male
get the two
selective
letters
hearing,
switched,
Nick.
huh?
It's that male selective hearing.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
Oh man.
there is something I would want to compare it actually to you guys, Jeremy, but I'm not going to say it though.
Yeah, that's right. She was in The Help. Yes, she was in those movies. Yes, and it's just, I mean, Carrie is based on Stephen King's very first non-published work, his very first novel. And crazy thing is, Carrie almost wasn't. Oh yeah, I just saw it, Jeremy. That's awesome. Carrie almost didn't come to pass because when Stephen King first was like way back in the day, like in the early '70s, when he was working as an English teacher, he wanted to try writing, and so he wrote 3 pages on what would become Carrie, and then decided no, this is not going to work as a novel, and just threw those pages out. But then that day, his wife Tabitha King came into the room and like got those pages out of the trash and then read them. And she said, "Yeah," he said, you don't throw this out. You got something good going here. Keep working on it." She encouraged him to finish writing the novel, and the rest is history. Because this teaches you a life lesson. Never never doubt your abilities because you just never know what they could lead to.
Correction, Don. It wasn't that he was going to try to write. He had been writing all his life. Before Carrie, he had actually written 4 complete novels.
Oh,
It's just that was the one that was sold.
you
yeah.
said his name and you summoned him.
Yeah, I was going
There
to
you
say
go.
fucking showed up.
Oh, man.
The other novels that he wrote before Carrie was Getting It On, which ended up
Oh,
becoming
Kate.
Okay.
The Long Walk, Woodward, and The Running Man. And then he wrote Carrie. And as he started progressing in his career, he began to release those other ones as Richard Bachman.
Yes. And
Yep.
here, Braxton, I see your comment. I'm going to get to that in a sec. I just want to address one last thing about Stephen King. It's that after writing Carrie, when you think about his novels, like he's done a lot of great work, but one of his favorite things to write about are people with extraordinary abilities. He's demonstrated that with The Dead Zone and, let's see, Firestarter,
The Shining.
The Shining.
Got it.
Yes.
Yep.
The list goes on. And also,
Maybe Stephen King is secretly like some sort of superhuman alien. That's why he writes about having
That's
all of these
actually been
powers.
discussed before.
If it's not the humans having the powers, it's the inanimate objects like cars and stuff. And,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he did 2 of them just on that.
Maximum Overdrive.
Yeah. Which we will also cover one day. And it has the best soundtrack, one of the best soundtracks ever, and that's ACDC.
Yep.
They did, yeah, ACDC did all the music for Maximum Overdrive. And
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
it's by no means is Maximum Overdrive a great movie, but it's just a silly kind of good time.
I think that truck still exists. That truck still exists somewhere. It doesn't move anymore, but it's still.
Oh yeah,
still
it does.
exists.
And it's actually signed by what was his name? Giancarlo Esposito, who would then later on, who was in that role like in his 20s, who did that role in his 20s, and then he went on to star in as Gus in Breaking Bad. Let's see, he was in Mandalorian. He's become a huge, and he signed that Green Goblin from the movie.
The one the casting that got destroyed at the end of that movie was actually in Fort Wayne a few years ago for DeadCon.
All right.
Yeah, the guy tracked it down and he restored it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so it's been brought back to its glory. So, I wanted to address this from Braxton. Yeah, there was that part where the coach, where Mrs. Collins hit, and turns out that hit was actually real. They wanted Brian De Palma wanted that to be like real, so you get a genuine reaction.
Dom just shared a picture he
Wow.
took at his house there. of his books.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I shared the screen.
Yeah,
I'm
you
sorry, I
did.
missed that. I'm sorry. Hang on.
Yeah,
Yeah, full screen that one.
Yes. Here,
no,
let's.
not that one. There we
There you
go.
go.
There we go. There we go.
Oh, nice.
That's
Look at that.
brilliant. I
Nice.
love the face.
That's
Oh
what
my God, that's a scary face.
Here's
Hey,
Johnny.
you, Tom?
Yeah.
That's
That's
awesome.
That's gonna give me Okay, I'm gonna be honest. That's gonna give me nightmare. If that's Tom's face right there, that's gonna give me nightmares more than Carrie would.
Well,
I,
just imagine it being painted, Nick.
Oh,
oh man.
that would even be
I-
That'd be
worse.
cool.
I have most of those books, and I love how you have the original PlayStation. That's awesome.
Nostalgia.
Oh yeah.
There we go.
Here, how do I fix that? Okay, here we go.
Todd's face, the statue of not Todd's creepy face.
Yeah. Here, let me catch up with comments here. Let's not forget he had a cocaine binge for a while. Oh yes, that's right. He especially did during when he was writing Cujo, when he was writing Tommyknockers. So yeah, that definitely did play a part in like some of his bizarre writing.
But here's the thing: that's where his best writing came from.
I can agree to that to some extent. Yeah.
I don't know. That's debatable.
I
I mean, it was kind of weird.
Yeah.
I mean, what's best is, it
Yes,
depends.
the Running Man has been remade. The guy that's playing Ben Richards was in Twisters. The Glenn Powell, I think.
Yeah.
it is.
Why are they remaking that movie?
And this
It's fine
one-
the way it was.
And that one, and The Long Walk, the one that I have been waiting for forever, is finally coming out in September.
Yeah, I just got this book yesterday, so I'm definitely going to try this one out after I finish reading my current one.
It is a very, very good read. I read that one years ago. I listened to the audio book 2 years ago. It is so good. The amount of story that he can come out of just a group of people walking.
Oh yeah. Oh here, Brexton. Yes, that infamous opening scene in the girls' locker room, and I'm just gonna say, thank God these were all grown adults in that, even though they're supposed to be high schoolers. These were all
Yeah.
actresses. These were all actresses who were in their 20s.
Sissy
In fact-
Spacek at that time was about she was about 26, 27 years old
Yes.
when she did
Yeah.
that movie. She was born in 1949, so then a few years later, she would have in 79. That would have made her 30, so she was in her late 20s at the time.
Oh yeah, she was 27. She was married to the production designer of this film, Jack Fisk, and I believe they're still married to this day, well over 50 years. And let's see, yeah, Jack Fisk. What did he? Oh, one of my favorite things that he did is that when he created that Saint Sebastian statue inside that closet, that creepy statue.
Yeah.
That was him.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just going to say this since that. What was it? Braxton that said something about the shower sequence was obviously the very early moment of that scene was when Carrie started having her period,
Yeah.
and it just looked. I mean,
I think that's so important though, because this came out at a time where it was very stigmatized. Women never
Yeah.
talked about it, girls never talked about it. So I think it's such a powerful scene because girls watching it felt that it's okay. We have periods. This is what happens. And boys got to see what it was like in a way. Yeah, that's
And that-
Ew.
yeah.
after Bloodsport.
So I really, really think it was such an important scene. And yeah, at that time, it was groundbreaking, really. I don't think there's ever any other scene before that which involves periods.
I
Well,
don't think so.
and I get what you
But
mean
that's
by
also
that,
the
but-
catalyst of the entire story.
Yeah.
Can you
Well,
imagine
and
how
I feel
different
like-
that would have made the Brady Bunch?
Oh.
Marcia, ew.
But it's so important. It's
boy.
what we have to deal with every month,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, it's
This is
part
what
of-
it is.
Yeah, but it's part.
life.
Well,
Yep.
and I
It's
will
part of
say,
biology.
I know it's a very important scene, but it doesn't make it any less painful to look at. It just looks painful.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
it is, Nick. It
Well,
is.
see, that's the thing about his stories is he puts so much realism into it that
Yeah.
when you read it or when you watch the movies, it does and is supposed to make you feel uncomfortable because it's like,
Yeah.
holy shit,
Yeah.
I actually went through that, or I actually saw that.
Yeah. And also, I know that my grandma told me that her mum never talked to her about periods. So when she had her period for the first time, she thought something was really wrong with her. She thought she was seriously ill because, you know, that kind of generation, even in the 70s, like people didn't really talk about it. Mums didn't really tell you what was going to happen, what would be involved. So
They
Was
didn't
it
have
in,
they didn't have the so-called the talk.
in
no,
that movie,
not as such,
My
really.
Girl, when she got her period, she's like,
No.
I'm hemorrhaging.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's
Well,
really
yes, I do.
scary. It's
I'm just gonna.
terrifying.
Well, yeah, it's especially for the first timers, and although
Yeah.
I will say for Tom here, though, like I said, they didn't have the talk. Well, except for Tom, because as I once described him, he gave his father the talk because he's the most interesting man in the YouTube
Well,
world.
somebody had to because he didn't do something right because I'm here.
Right. Oh, here. I want to get to this. Billy said, yeah. Young Nancy Allen was in this, and she was married to Brian De Palma at some point after this film. I don't believe they're married anymore, but yeah, they were
Mm.
at one point. But yeah, I know. There's two roles that I know her for. I know her for this, for playing Chris, the main bully of this film, and also 11 years later, she played a role that she would have for 3 films, and that is the role of Lewis in RoboCop.
Mm.
Yep, yep.
Well,
Yeah.
let's not
Yeah.
forget there's someone else that became eventually a huge name in that movie just a year later. And honestly, I actually almost forgot that he was in this movie. It's also hard to believe that John Travolta was also in this movie too.
Yeah.
Which
Vinny Barbarino.
what's that?
Vinny
No,
Barbarino.
he looked more like Vinny Barbarino and acted more like Barbarino, but that's probably because Welcome Back Kotter was still going on at the
Yeah.
time.
I mean,
And don't forget that what was his name? The guy that played Tommy, William
Yeah,
oh,
William Cat.
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah,
the
Greatest
greatest
American Hero.
American hero.
One of my
Great
favorite
American
shows as a
Hero,
kid.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
actually just recently, in the last few years, rewatched it all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
it's a shame that his career had gone downhill in the later years. Like
yeah,
Well, he was in
like
House.
with
oh yeah, House I liked. Yeah, he was in House. I'm saying after that, later. I mean later in his career.
well, like I said though, in this case, like with John Travolta, I mean, I'm sure even back then when he did this movie, that he had no idea that he was going to be like this huge actor in less than a year. Because less than a year later, 1977 and 78, he had this, in successful these two successful movies, Saturday Night Fever and Grease. And I know, of course, he's made a lot of other movies since, but those were just a year after he did Carrie, became like his two biggest movies he ever did. And it's
Mm.
kind
Well,
of
it was his second movie that he's ever done, but to his credit, he was able to get away from that stigma of being a horror guy, where a lot of people in the 70s and 80s were never able to escape.
that's
Wasn't
right.
he in The Boy in the Bubble?
Yep.
I think
Yep.
so. Yeah.
Yes, he was.
Yeah,
And it was also unusual to see John Travolta and kind of in this movie. Yeah, with this movie, it's kind of again, it's been such. I mean, it was only until I saw it at my sister's house, so I actually forgot about this. It's hard to also picture John Travolta having kind of a not just in a horror movie, but also kind of having a more antagonistic role than what he would later have in his other movies that he did, because he usually played the good guy for the most part. Although it should be noted that when he did Saturday Night Fever, he was the king of disco, but he also was part of a gang in the early part of the movie.
And it's hard to believe right now he is in his 70s, and when you look at a picture of him, he looks like he's barely 50 years old.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's like Jesus.
yeah.
What the hell is
He
the
aged
secret?
well. He really aged well.
It's either that or he had Botox. I don't know.
Well,
Hmm.
and I will
Well,
tell you,
shaving his head had a lot to do with it.
Well,
yeah,
He drank that special drink that the Hollywood elite drink that make you younger and not age. And
He found the fountain
Yeah.
of youth.
yeah. Hollywood has access to the fountain of youth. Yeah, and I want in.
Oh,
I've
okay,
always
okay.
described
We
it
need to address this. We need to
Huey.
address this. Yeah, we know Running Man. So my opinion, while it is greatly different from the original story, I still enjoyed the Running Man movie that came out.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. Yeah, nice early
Yeah.
performance.
I love the Running Man. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think they need to I don't know why you guys were saying they remade it. I didn't even know that. I don't know why they wouldn't
Mm.
need to. It was
Yeah.
fine the way it is.
They feel like they need to remake Carrie, remake Pet Cemetery,
No,
remake The Shining,
Everything.
remake
they're
all
trying to make everything.
It's
Well,
like
now remaking The Shining that needed to be done.
well, yeah. I mean, yeah, like they were into making more like the book. I mean, Stephen King hated the way like Stanley Kubrick did The Shining. So yeah,
Well, it's not hard to understand why, because of how much different it is and the way that he completely changed it around. Um, the movie on its own is a fantastic movie.
Oh yeah,
You can when you consider it to the book, the original source that it comes from, it's terrible, a terrible adaptation.
right.
Movie is great, adaptation is horrible. So I'm very glad that he came out with the miniseries, which is
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
I can agree.
had the follow up movie too. That what's his name?
Doctor Sleep.
Doctor
Yeah,
Doctor
Doctor
Sleep.
Sleep. That
I
wasn't
like
bad.
that. I liked.
I thought it was going to be horrible, but it wasn't bad.
Yeah. Oh, Brexton. Yes, I wanted to address this here. The boy on the bike. I actually learned this recently because in like that's the boy on the bike that you see in the film that says "creepy Carrie, creepy Carrie." Turns out that's actually Brian De Palma's nephew.
Huh.
And the thing is, I didn't even know about that until like recently when I looked up. I wanted to look up his age because I was thinking back to the book, and I'm like, the kid on the bike and the kid that was taunting Carrie while riding that bike, he was 5 years old in the book. And thinking back to that movie, I'm like, yeah, that actor is not 5 years old.
Yeah.
So he was like 12 or maybe 11.
Yeah.
Mm.
Poor
Yeah, a lot of
kids.
times that happens with
Uh,
like movies and TV. Like the person who's running the show inserts their kid or their nephew.
Oh yeah. There's
Yeah.
a lot of
They
nepotism.
do that a
They
lot.
did that with the opening scenes for Three's Company. Like when the women are all around the little kid at one
Yep.
point in the opening. That's John Ritter's son.
Yeah.
Middle school watching the special features. Oh, I see.
Just one more thing I got to
Can
point out.
you address Billy about Scientology and John Travolta? Yes, he's still into
I do-
Scientology since 1975. He's very, 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 very passionate about Scientology. He's still going.
Well,
Yeah.
here's something else I
Now,
wanted to
there is a sad
else-
story that goes with this movie. It just happened over the winter a few months ago that the school that they filmed this at burned down from the wildfires that they had.
Really?
Oh,
No
Harry came
way.
back
Wow.
and burned the rest of it down.
Oh, that really sucks.
Yeah.
I just want to throw out something else real quick since you were just mentioning about John Travolta, Kate, is that you guys might find this a little bit hard to believe, but my dad actually got to briefly meet him back in
Oh
the
wow.
oh, no.
Yeah, it was around the time when he was at his most popular between Saturday Night and Saturday Night Fever in Greece, and it was fun. It was almost the first starters. I always described him as kind of like the Elvis Presley of the late '70s because that's who he kind of was. But what my dad had told me, he's told me this story numerous times, was he was at some mall or something like that, and he just happened to be walking by John Travolta, and he's like, it was just a casual meetup. Like my dad didn't even realize who he was even talking to at first. It was just like, hey, how you doing? That kind of thing. And he walked past him. What this is always the funny part. What John Travolta didn't realize was that there was a crowd of people that were actually waiting for him on the other side of a stage, in the mall. Obviously, as you can imagine, a good majority of them were like all these female admirers of him, all these big female fans. And I think he knew there was going to be a crowd. He thought maybe 400 or 500 people at the most. What he didn't realize was since a good majority of them were like all these like high school and college girls, there had to have been like over 1,000 people there. And when he walked up onto the stage, all of a sudden, all your ears would have to go down because all you could hear was all these screams going on from all the fans for John Travolta. And my dad said that actually probably scared the hell out of him because he was not expecting that big of a crowd to see him.
Yeah, it's
No,
weird. It happens to me all the time when I go out in public. People recognize me from YouTube, and I have to wear my hat backwards
like
and
that for
stuff.
This
Yeah.
Is Tom's World.
It does happen to me once or twice, if I'm being honest. Like people actually do recognize me. Like one person would say, "Oh, hey Don, I saw your podcast. You were really funny." I'm like, "Oh, thanks."
Yeah, I get
Aw.
recognized here.
Back in the 70s,
John Travolta
Travolta,
was only 22 years old when this movie was released, so he was
Yeah.
very, very young.
Yeah, it was. It was just still at that age where he was pretty much just still fresh out of high school.
Yeah, like I said, it was only his second movie that he ever made. Sissy Spacek is
He was 27.
4 years older than him.
Yeah.
Yep. Joe, what were you going to say?
I was going to say back in the 70s, Travolta was so famous for those 3 musicals that he did, Grease, Saturday Night,
Mm.
Oh yeah.
and Staying Alive,
Yep.
that he was put on all those. They don't have them so much now as they did back then, but you had all those teen magazines like Tiger Beat,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
he was on the cover of them, and that also because of his character Vinnie Barbarino from Welcome Back, Kotter.
Ba, ba,
Oh,
ba,
and don't forget,
ba,
he
ba.
did Urban Cowboy as well.
Yeah, but
Um,
that didn't happen until the 80s.
Now, I
Early 80s.
that's why he was able to break out of that stereotype. Is that immediately after Carrie, he did Saturday Night Fever,
Yep.
Grease, Moment by Moment.
Don't forget Staying Alive was in there because Saturday Night
Well,
Fever and
Staying
Staying
Alive was
Alive
1983.
are sequels.
Yeah, 1983.
Yeah,
Oh.
Staying Alive is 1983. So at the Moment by Moment, he did Urban Cowboy, Blowout, Staying Alive, Two of a Kind, and so on.
Oh, I remember that movie, Blowout.
Chris.
Yeah, so Carrie, and let's see, he actually, his first film is called The Devil's Rain. So he did 2 horror movies, and then he turned right around and did the 2 dancing movies, and that's what jump started his career.
Definitely. You
He
know,
gave me
let's
chills that
not
were
forget all
multiplying.
these different things that John Travolta has appeared. I'm sure we've all seen the commercial. And let's not forget, most recently, he did that tribute to Saturday Night Fever around Christmas when he dressed up as Santa Claus and he dressed up in the disco. You guys saw that commercial, right?
Yeah.
No,
I love that. That was awesome.
Oh, that's right. Sissy Spacek did change her hair throughout the years.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is true, Braxton. Yes.
And she has all the facial characteristics of a redhead, I guess, when I think about it.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
Hey, Lois is watching.
Lois, how's it going?
Oh,
be the most
Yeah.
Thanks for
film
tuning in.
actress I've ever seen.
Let's
What's
see.
that?
She's probably the most pale actress I've ever seen.
Yeah, she is
Really?
very pale. And I will say that. Like that's one of the things I noticed when I first saw Carrie. I'm like, wow, this girl is like super pale. Like when they
But
say,
that's what makes her stick out, and that's what made
Yeah.
her perfect for the role of Carrie.
yeah, I was about to
Yeah.
say her last name, Carrie's last name is White. And I'm like, wow, this actress is really white. But that's what I thought.
Kinda makes
That's what I
me-
thought as a kid.
It kind of makes me wonder because of her appearance and the physical traits. That kind of makes me wonder if she had like Norwegian ancestry, because that's how a lot of Norwegians look,
I see.
and Swedish
I
too.
would say Irish.
I went Irish
I
too.
was thinking Irish.
Yeah. I thought the storytelling of this, the way it was directed, was so compelling. Like you never get bored
Oh, yeah.
watching it. And like even the mum, because from that first scene, and then you think, oh no, like what's wrong, like what's happening, and then the story sort of unfolds that her mum's this total religious psycho
Yeah.
that you're like, oh no, and then
I said-
like so good.
I said earlier I was more afraid of her than I was Carrie when I was a kid.
Yeah,
It's like
This might be the first movie
she
I've
give me nightmares.
where a parent openly wished their child was dead or
yeah,
Yeah.
stillborn or wanted to kill her.
They're all gonna laugh at you.
In a movie before that where the parent wanted to actually do it and tried to.
Yeah, I mean, when it's like when I saw that, like her saying that she wished her child was dead and then in the end wanting her child dead, I'm just thinking, Are you? I'm thinking. Hey, Margaret White. Are you sure it's not you who's being driven by Satan?
Yeah, and
Like,
locking
real.
her in that cupboard, like,
Makes me also
yeah,
wonder, you
Then
can't
she's
help.
yelling at her, grabbing her own hair and pulling it.
Yeah,
yeah,
that was. Yeah,
awful.
like I was
Yeah.
just like it's like looking back to those scenes. I'm like, wow, this character is just dangerously unhinged. It's like,
If ever there was going to be a very dangerous cult leader, religious cult leader, she would have been it.
Oh
Yep.
Charlie
yeah,
no
Manson
doubt.
would have been
No,
afraid of her.
It does
no,
make me
yeah,
wonder,
no
though,
doubt.
what
No doubt.
happened to Mr. White, though, on the other hand, her
Oh,
former husband.
there's two different versions of this in the book.
mm,
Mr. White died. Ralph White. In the movie, he just left,
Yeah.
and I'm pretty sure you
mm,
can take a wild guess as to why.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
but there actually is more to this. I wanted to mention this when we brought up Amy Irving, who plays Sue Snell. She reprises her role in the Rage Carrie 2, and people were wondering how is there could be a sequel to Carrie 2. Well, Ralph White, Carrie's father, after leaving the family, sometime later was with another woman, and the result of that was Rachel, Carrie's half sister, who also got telekinesis.
That
Yeah,
makes
okay,
a lot of sense. I saw part of the Rage Carrie too, and oh, is that it?
that's
Then
it, Jeremy.
the original,
It's the original
the
remakes.
sequel, and the remake.
From 2002.
wow,
Yeah,
Yeah,
Now this remake here, to me, follows more closely with the book
it
than
does.
the original
mm,
movie does, but the cinematography and the direction was bad
and
because it
that's
was a TV movie. And
Yeah, it was a TV movie, so yeah, the cinematography wasn't the best thing, and also the fire effects looked really. The fire effects looked really fake in the prom scene. I'll say that.
I've never
mm,
really seen the TV remake. I've seen the 2013 remake, but as far
Oh
as the
yeah,
sequel, I don't know. I may have to. I'm gonna have to see. I saw it several years ago, although I guess
mm,
at that time I just wasn't as impressed with it. But maybe if I go back and rewatch it, maybe I'll change. Because now that many years have passed, most of that movie has pretty much been lost to me. So I don't
right.
really remember a lot of
And,
what
and
happened.
now there's a rumor that there's going to be another remake.
Oh my god.
Seriously, a third one? 10 years after
No,
the other one.
that's like I said. Hollywood needs to get an imagination and stop
Yep.
mm,
making crap.
Exactly.
The thing
All right.
is, they need to leave Carrie alone. The
Need
Mhm.
to leave it all alone.
Mrs. Basic was
There's a
perfect.
lot of
Leave
movies
it
they needed
alone and
to
move on to some
be
of his
left
other
alone.
stories that have not been adapted.
Like we were
Right.
just talking about the Running Man. That doesn't need to be redone. It's perfect the way it was.
Yeah, I mean Stephen
yeah,
King has written hundreds
Depending
of
on how you look at it.
yeah, Stephen King has put out well over 100 stories, if not way definitely more than that. But and there's plenty of source material for Hollywood to adapt with it.
Yeah,
yeah,
the
Absolutely.
Monkey just came out a few months ago.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
the Running Man, yeah, I'm actually looking forward to that because I would like to see it more true to the original book. But I am
mm,
looking forward as hell for the Long Walk and
mm,
also the Life of Chuck. I read that story and that one just completely blew me away because it was absolutely different from anything he has ever done. So I really want to see that one.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that is true, Braxton.
I remember watching this film. I think I was about 12 or 13, and I didn't really think it was a horror film because it has horror elements, of course, and the jump scare. But honestly, I just found it so sad. Like,
Yeah,
she's bullied, she has a horrible life,
I think
and
the
it's
true
about
horror is
rage
coming
and
into
revenge, and you want her to have power you know, avenge herself
yeah,
it's
and
kind
get
of
justice.
yeah. It's like
Yeah.
you look at everything, and it's like I'm thinking, Carrie, that girl deserved better.
Yeah, but I feel like that's a theme in Stephen King. Like, he's really good at his victims.
Yes,
So good.
well,
it
And
is.
Hey, Nikki.
empathy, like, you empathize with them, like, massively.
he
Uh,
modeled Carrie after two girls that he knew in high school and combined them
Right.
together.
in
Yep.
case you
Yeah.
guys wonder why Nikki can't join tonight, is she's not feeling so good.
Oh
Oh,
well,
get
Zach,
well soon.
yeah,
Feel better.
If
I was
she's
just
not
messaging.
if she's not feeling good, then why would she want to get on camera?
Well, no, no. I mean, I was chatting with her earlier, and I asked if she was going to be coming on, and she said she would have loved to, but she has the flu, and she
Oh
also has
man,
some rib pain right now at the worst,
Ooh.
so she's going to be going to a doctor soon.
man.
And I
Well,
came on because Nick asked me last night during a torturous game of Minecraft.
what did
Oh,
you
you
do? What
should
did
have
you
been
do this?
He stole my
What did
diamond
you do?
pick.
huh?
What?
He stole my diamond pickaxe.
No, I thought I found it.
Make your own pickaxe, Nick.
Oh, and also Cade right here also trapped me in Tom's bedroom, which made him kill me.
Yeah, because you
Yeah,
were caught red-handed raiding his chest.
I
So of
wasn't
course I
reading
was
his
going to
chat.
trap
I
you
was
in
just
there.
walking around.
always being a troll at Minecraft. Always.
Yeah.
And then he went and built a room in the house, even though he has that other house at the bottom of the stairs. He
Yeah.
went and built a room in the house right in front of Robert's room, blocking one of his doors.
Well, not really. He still
Oh my
has room.
god. But
Yeah.
yeah, what Brexton was saying here, yeah, Rachel's mom was also insane, but they put her in a mental hospital for before guessing anything like what you see like Margaret White do to Carrie, before that could happen. But I will say this, like yeah, and also Piper Laurie, she was not. I forgot to mention this. She was nominated for Best Actress in a Supporting Role for that performance at the Academy Awards back then. And
Oh.
Oh,
yeah, I mean, when it comes to like
Deserved- Deservedly.
yeah, like when it comes to people playing villains in movies, like we're seeing like a lot more like Academy Award winning performances for the like villain roles. Like you look at Heath Ledger when he played Joker in The Dark Knights.
Yeah.
Let's see. Javier Bardem when he played Anton Chigurh in No Country for Old Men. Let's see. Oh, Christoph Waltz when he played Colonel Hans Landa in Inglorious Bastards. So
Mm.
we're seeing a lot more of that in recent years.
And there's also another
Yeah.
famous actor who he played. Usually um, he doesn't really play like antagonistic roles. I'm trying to figure out who that guy's name is. He was known in here's what I was looking for, because I had to look the movie up. Burt Young. You guys know who that is, right?
Burt Young, yes, I
Yeah.
remember him
Hey,
in Rocky.
hey, Tom. You know what? You should know who that is because he was in Rocky. Um,
Oh my god.
what I was gonna say, like for someone like him, he even had kind of like not an Academy Award, but still received an award.
oh, holy.
A movie that he did in the early '80s for like having a more antagonistic role. Don, you've seen this. It was when he was in the prequel film of Amityville 2, where he plays like
Yes.
an abusive father in that, which at that time was a relatively unusual role for him, because prior to that he played more benign positive roles, but he was still good for his performance in that movie. And what's even more amazing, if you guys didn't know, in 2018 they made sort of like a remake of Amityville 2, and they had two of the original actors, one of them Burt Young, in that remake in 2018. Although, once again, in that remake, he's a more positive character than he was in the original Amityville prequel. So
That's
One,
why, that's why I enjoy seeing actors getting into roles that are completely different from what they do. Like Robin Williams when he was in Insomnia and 1 Hour Photo, he
Oh, he was
Right.
played
brilliant.
those roles.
Yeah.
Right.
Jim Carrey doing all of those stupid, idiotic roles, and then jumping. Which I have to say, Sonic the Hedgehog 3 had me
He
crying.
was so good. I love him in Sonic.
Yes.
He's
Yeah,
amazing.
he had me crying. But he did the
So
Metallic,
good.
which is a very serious role.
Just
Yeah.
watched
Very
that
good at
one.
that. He did the number
23.
23 and Dark Crimes. He was so good for being a comedic
for
guy in
That
doing all
Spotless
those
Mind movie, too.
roles.
Eternal Sunshine of
Yeah.
the Spotless Mind. Yes.
Yeah.
So and Braxton, I don't know if I'm going to be able
I,
to.
I yeah, we're
Yeah.
not even.
I don't
Yeah,
know if I'm going to be able to.
not even gonna go
It's
down
like
that. It's gonna
it's
Keep
sound.
like
it PG.
yeah.
Yeah,
PG
that's what I mean. So,
people.
we're not even gonna go down that. It's gonna sound really, really
Okay,
X-rated.
moving on.
Yeah, but anyways,
Moving on.
I don't know if I can.
Anyway,
I don't know if I can display those comments, Braxton. But yeah, I hear what you're saying.
Another role that I really like in Carrie is PJ Souls.
yeah,
Yes.
She has that unique resume where she was in the very first Stephen King movie, which literally jump started his total career
Yes.
because his book sales, they were doing all right, and then Carrie came out, and all of a sudden he exploded. And then 3 years later, 2 years later, she was in the first Halloween movie.
Yes,
That's
Linda.
correct.
Yeah, being strangled to death with a telephone cord by Michael Myers.
So PJ Soul, it has that unique thing where she was a part of two major career jump starts.
Yeah, she
Oh,
did.
yeah.
She really
Wasn't
did.
stripes.
Yep. Let's see
She
who
was the
else.
one that he was trying to use the spatula on when she was on the stove and stuff. I remember that scene.
That's right. Let's see. Oh yeah,
And
Right.
in
She was
show
in
too.
Stripes too.
there was also.
Oh, the Aunt Jemima treatment.
Let's see. What was his name?
Stripes.
Oh, here I got it. Sidney Lasek. He played that teacher, that English teacher in Carrie, who ended up getting electrocuted and set on fire at the prom. He was. Let's see. He was in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Who did he play in that? What was his name? Cheswick. Yeah, yeah. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, which also starred Jack Nicholson, who starred in another Stephen King adaptation that we covered, The Shining. Let's see.
Right.
Oh, and
Hey,
also,
Robert.
yeah. Oh, and also one movie that we have that this reminds me of another film, a lesser known film that we might cover down the road that he was also in. That's Sidney Lasek. He was also in Alligator. That's from 1980. That's like one of his lesser known films, but yeah. Let's see. Oh, also, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest starred Brad Dourif, who would later on voice Chucky.
Just real
Yeah.
quick, since Robert's in the
Let's
comments.
see.
Robert, you gonna come on soon? Come on.
Come on,
You might have to tag in for me because I'm going to tag out real soon.
Oh,
I
you
think
are?
I may have
You
seen
okay?
Alligator.
Oh, have you?
Maybe is this the one where the alligator chomps down on the guy's leg and tears it off?
That on a cop's leg, yes. Yeah, that came out in that was 1980. It's based on that urban legend about an alligator surviving in a sewer, and then this alligator had been feeding on like discarded test animals from that had growth hormone in them, and became a giant
Yeah.
36-foot behemoth. And then it breaks out, goes on a murderous rampage. And let's see.
Okay, so I have at least seen that scene because I can see it clearly in my head, and I saw this thing 30 some years ago.
Hey, Sniper, how's it going? Oh yeah, but actually saw it like years ago as a kid. I rented it from Blockbuster. Like I rented it because I saw the second film first because that had a PG-13 rating, and I'm just like, oh come on, let me see the first one.
Come on.
Let's see. Here, let me find a just to give you guys an idea. Here, Alligator. Got to be more specific. 1980. Oh, and I was surprised to know that Bryan Cranston had worked as a like a like one of those production assistants in that film when they were doing the finale.
Huh.
It was before he became an actor. He did an interview about it. Yep, it's this.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I remember that one memorable scene where near the end where the alligator attacked a wedding. Yeah, there's him munching on a maid.
All right. 8 aids of munching.
Yeah, and the main star of that he was like in a TV show. What was his name? Oh, Robert Forster.
Robert Forster, yeah.
Yeah, he was the star in Alligator.
Mm.
Yeah, so I'm sure you guys have heard come across him before in some movies
Yep.
and shows.
Yeah, I know who that is.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
getting back to Carrie,
Yes.
as typical in Stephen King's stories and subsequent movies, there are always that one character that you wish was never killed off. And for me, that was Miss Collins.
Yes, Miss Collins. Yeah, she didn't deserve that. Hey, Robert.
And Robert,
Oh,
yeah, because she did everything she could to help.
Oh, hey, Robert. Guys,
She ended
guys,
up-
I'll be right back. I gotta do something for my mom real quick. I'll be back in just a minute or two.
All right.
Okay.
But-
Tom's laughing.
She was Carrie's first supporter from the very beginning of the show. And then at the very end, Carrie, while not directly doing it, ended up killing her.
Yeah, it seems like her power was just completely out of control. Because which another difference from the novel, because I don't know in the movie it just felt like her power was just existed as this once it's like her anger reaches its peak, it just becomes an unstoppable force, just causing chaos everywhere with her having no control of it. But no, in the novel, she controlled literally everything. And what was different was Carrie ran out of the gymnasium after the pig blood was dumped on her. Then she took her revenge by sealing off everybody in and causing all those fires, electrocutions. So she was control. She had total control over her power, and she knew exactly what she was doing.
Mm.
And she ended up killing a lot of people during her walk from the school to home.
Yep. She had just had enough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right, Brexton. That's true.
And when you really think about it, that is actually a perfect metaphor for how we were all feeling when we're in high school, where we get so fed up, we just kind of wish we could do something. Carrie actually did it.
Mm.
Yep.
Man.
She was just bullied her entire time, wasn't she? Like tragic, really. Yeah. She didn't have any friends. I don't remember her having any friends.
No, the first friend that she had was the teacher, and then later on,
Mm.
Snell.
I
Yeah,
think
just
Tommy kind of liked her though. I think he realized that it was a bad thing that they were doing to her and all that.
Well,
I think he actually
I don't think Tommy had a clue
maybe. Well, that's
of
usually
what
the
they were
case.
doing.
Tommy
Yeah,
never has a clue. I don't know.
I just had to correct the title. There was error. Like we've been having technical problems at the beginning of this, so we had to
yeah,
You had technical problems?
technical.
Yeah, the
Technical
beginning
issue.
of the show was a little bit of a journey.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was.
yeah. But yeah, sorry, I'm making corrections right now. Adding a description here into this
Don't
onto the current show. Hang on.
Carry on my
I don't
wayward
think there's gonna
son.
be any changes on the page, Don.
I know, but I can change. I'm changing it on my YouTube.
There was a song called Carrie. Was it Europe that did it?
Yep, I was thinking about that all day today.
Carrie.
It would be something to take all different kinds of clips from that movie and then put it to the song.
That would be cool.
Fresh to your house.
Yeah, make a whole new music video out of it.
Oh, really?
Oh man.
Jeez.
That's your next project, Jeremy.
Yeah.
Oh, I like the musical
Well,
score.
I have to get a digital version of the movie so I can be able to make the clips out.
Mm.
There you go. I do like the musical score whenever she uses her powers outside. Well, for most of the scenes where she uses her powers, like when it comes to shutting doors or shutting windows, there's that music sting. I believe that's
Oh,
a clear.
yeah, that's
I believe
right.
I believe that's a clear homage to the shower score from Psycho.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it
absolutely.
was. It definitely was.
Dun.
Oh yeah. Oh man, but yeah, that's true. PJ Souls actually was injured by that fire hose on set when she got sprayed. The water ruptured her eardrum, and I know how painful that is because Nick, you remember that time years ago when we were hanging out with some people, and I had a cold virus, and it caused an eardrum rupture.
Well, I had something similar like that. I had swimmers do it. Oh my god, that was horrible.
The swimmer was horrified too.
I had to stay out of the pool for
Like, why does he have my ear?
rest of the summer after that. It was awful.
Man, do they even have fire hoses anymore at high schools? Or
I don't know.
I don't think they do that anymore. I think it's always the CO2 fire extinguishers.
I was going to
Well,
say
it's the sprinkler things
Well,
too.
oh yeah,
Sprinklers.
that
I
too,
remember
yeah.
seeing fire hoses at my high school.
Well, I'm gonna jet out while we're all quiet because I got to get to bed.
And
Very
Tom,
bad.
I just want to say,
Okay.
who
Uh,
Right, Tom.
who fixed my name up saying Nick the Thief?
Was not me. I haven't done anything. I didn't even notice that your name
I was
changed.
going to say, did you do that, Tom?
Yeah. Well, don't steal people's
Yeah,
pickaxes.
Tom's got
man.
control of this account, Nick.
I
no.
know.
Yeah. Hey, don't steal people's diamond pickaxes. Then how about that? Then you
Right.
won't be called a thief. How about that?
Right. All right. I'll see you all later.
Uh,
Good night,
All right.
Tom.
Good night, Tom.
Good night.
Thanks so much. Good night.
Another fun fact about this movie is that the screenwriter Lawrence Cohen also wrote the screenplay for It,
Yes,
That's right.
Tommy Knockers, and one of the episodes, Nightmares and Dreamscapes.
Ooh.
Jeez, I forgot about Nightmares and Dreamscapes. Actually, I saw that when I was really young.
Yeah, I'm going through and checking and see which one he did.
Was nor an axe for fire safety. Oh yeah, like having an axe inside of a high school is probably not the best idea.
Better than having a gun.
No.
Well, but still, an axe can do some serious damage to somebody.
I
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, our high school has one, but by the main entrance. Oh, I see.
Entrance.
Yeah, I don't think because I was about to say I don't think they have fire hoses at high schools anymore.
They
Yeah, like
would
I
have
said,
had an
most of it's
axe
like
in
fire
my high
extinguishers,
school back
sprinklers.
in the day. People would have got hurt.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Well, considering how long those hoses would have been, like when you were trying to evacuate, like if there's like a fire or something like that, I recall experience with people trying to get out of a running building. People could trip and get tangled in or something
Oh
like
yeah.
that. Like
Yeah.
anything could go wrong.
Oh, and let's see. Speaking of fire, what's also another memorable scene is when Carrie is walked out of the high school after her powers had created all that chaos.
Yeah.
Like electrocuting people, and especially that principal and that teacher. Like she held a grudge against the principal for getting her name wrong, and against that teacher for laughing at her in class when she called Tommy's poem beautiful. But anyway,
He
what?
also did the end of the whole mess. That's what Lawrence
Yes.
Cohen did.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. He did do that. Was it? Oh yeah, when Carrie walks out and Chris and Billy are just about to run her over, and Carrie looks behind and like flips that car over and lights it on fire. And at that moment, when I saw that scene, I was thinking, hey Chris, how's that for a hot rod?
Yeah.
And it's amazing how they did that stunt. The stunt driver had like this mechanism that caused a foam pole to launch out of the bottom of the car, which caused it to flip. So and no, apparently no one was injured when that stunt was done. So it was
Yeah.
executed perfectly. So, but yeah, that was an amazing car flip stunt and fire effect.
For the
That's
time,
probably my
definitely.
favorite kill scene.
What
It's probably my favorite kill scene.
could be? I mean, yeah, of Chris getting their comeuppance, but it was much more brutal in the 2013 remake.
Yeah.
It was.
That's
Yeah,
what they did, obviously with these remakes. They make them more brutal than the original
they
film.
do. They always do. Always. Yeah, but speaking of fire, what also was mind blowing when you really think about it is that Carrie, when she gets home, the last place you should ever go to, where anybody should be with that psychopath of a mother. She
Yeah.
comes home and finds that the home that Margaret has transformed the whole home into a gigantic fire hazard. Seriously, candles
Oh, yes.
candles were literally everywhere in the house on the
Gas
table.
tank, all this different crazy stuff.
Yeah, there were there were candles on the tables, on the shelves, and even two candles that were on a bed. And I'm pretty sure that house would have been destroyed anyway if Carrie hadn't used her powers.
She basically turned it into a ritualistic altar.
Fire.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm telling you right now, I don't have candles in my home. It's not plugged in, but what I use is like these scented things that you plug into the outlet. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Even I don't leave those plugged in because I'm thinking, I don't know. I'm just cautious about leaving things plugged in.
Yeah.
That's why I use
If
the
you're in a movie,
battery.
you know what will happen.
Right.
That's why I use the battery operated candles nowadays. In fact, do you remember, Don, when we were trying to shoot like an episode for Scary Stories Presented in the Dark? I had
Right.
those battery operated
Yeah.
candles because obviously there was it may have looked fake, man, but they may have just been battery operated, but understandably there was no way we were going to use real ones because
Yeah.
that would have
Yeah.
presented a huge fire hazard.
Yeah, I never use candles in my condo. Yeah, no way.
Wait, what did Chris say? Whoa, Nick, battery operates. I don't know where he's going with that, but okay.
And battery operated- oh,
No.
I think it's a sexual thing.
Yeah, you don't want
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we don't need to go further than that.
No, we're not going to go through that. We're not going to go further with that either.
Yeah, Tom should. If only Tom was here.
Tom would have, but nope, we're not going to go down with that. Real quick, someone commenting on the personal page by the name of Renee Odell Hurt said, My favorite part of the original Carrie was when she finally stood up for herself with her mother at the end.
Yes,
Yeah.
that was that was when Margaret's insanity was at its peak. You know, like going to it's like she was convinced that Carrie was created out of sin and that she needs to die, that she needed to be killed. And I'm just like, oh my god, just how insane and delusional could you possibly get?
And also, if she was created out of sin, that's not her fault. That's her
Exactly.
mom's fault.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, yeah. So,
But she's still the personification of sin.
Yeah. And they
mm,
also said too, by the way, in response to all this talk about candles and whatnot, said I rub scented oil on my light bulbs and I won't have candles. Which, that does make sense to me.
Hmm.
mm.
The name of it is
That's
Mother.
That would be a safe thing to do.
What I always wonder is what happens after to Carrie. You know, like after the film, you always think does
She's
she
dead.
have to stay?
She's dead.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, but
Yeah, she's dead.
Meet up Hellboy onto them.
right. I mean, the one big change that they did make about Carrie's mom dying, Margaret's death. Yeah, I mean, I mean, that was the
so
biggest change that they
I
made at
don't
the end.
remember this. So does Carrie and the mum die?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they did. Well,
The-
she
I'm
kills
just
her
saying-
mom first using her powers,
Yeah.
like using different knives, stabbing her face
Okay.
to death. And then she eventually uses, like, almost like basically like the ferocity of her own powers to cause the entire house to collapse. And,
Well, see, that's the difference between the book and the movie. In the,
for the movie, but as for the book,
book, she uses her powers to stop her mother's heart.
Yeah,
And they actually do that in the first remake.
Okay.
Right.
But they did the whole stabbing scene because I guess it's more dramatic.
yeah,
Yep.
that's what they were going for. Brian De Palma thought stopping Margaret White's heart would not have been adapted very well to film, so he wanted something that was more symbolic and dramatic. And so Carrie had Margaret impaled by all those every sharp object, knives and all that, and then had her pose look very similar, like resembling that Saint Sebastian. Yeah, resembling the pose that Saint Sebastian statue had in that closet.
yeah, it's
How much wood does it need? This much wood.
yeah, that's what I was demonstrating. Like,
Nick needs a hug. Hey, Slinky.
The batteries give me the runs. Oh.
What if she didn't die though, Carrie? What if she
Well,
resurrects?
that's the kind of the teaser there at the very end when Carrie pops her.
Yeah.
Right.
But I
'Cause
think
that's what I thought. I thought she didn't die. I thought that's like her
it
resurrection.
was a nightmare sequence.
It was a dream sequence. Yeah.
Oh.
And by the way,
But
this is going to sound weird, but Stephen King had said in an interview, like when that movie first got released, he said obviously like people were screaming, like when you have that jump scare at the end. But he said in particular, one of those showings, he said in the row in front of him, there were two huge African American men sitting in front of him, 250 pounders at least. They're screaming like children. They're grabbing her. One of them grabs him by the neck, and one of them goes like, "That's it. She ain't never gonna be right." And Stephen King said that he later spoke to his wife, who was sitting next to him, saying, "This movie is gonna be huge."
Yeah. That's like with The Exorcist. Like my dad told me that in the cinema, people were just walking out and
Yep.
vomiting and
oh yeah.
yeah,
I think Exorcist had a much stronger effect on audiences than Carrie did. I mean, yes, Carrie was shocking, but I think Exorcist had a more devastating effect on audiences.
oh
But
my gosh,
here,
yeah.
I wanted to bring up what Braxton was saying.
also a lot more brutally visual than Carrie ever was.
Yes.
Yeah.
And here, Braxton, what he says about the house crumbling, like that's Carrie's power, like gone out of control, out of her grief and her just out of her overall pain. But I do like the way they did that effect, sinking that house. What they did was they took a half scale model of that house and put that on top of an elevator and used that to create that house sinking effect.
Yeah.
It's more or less it's more or less the same scene that you would see in the Poltergeist.
Yeah. Renee here says that because again, I'm just trying to keep up with the comments from my personal page.
Right.
Renee said, in my opinion, Carrie was the first fire starter.
I can see that.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that. And another fun yet scary scene to watch is the pig killing scene.
I was just thinking, I figured you were
Oh
going to
yeah,
say that one.
it's even more graphic in the book.
Yeah, where the guys are kind of hesitant. Well, okay, now that we're here, I don't know if I really want to do this. Chris, no hesitation.
Yeah, like he does.
Good
You
God.
kind of wonder if he comes from like a butchering family.
Yeah, you would. Well, you would think.
Or if he was just unhinged. Yeah.
Like what Braxton said, this must have been a response to what I just said about, the two guys. There was a time when black folks didn't mess with horror like that, but now it's a new breed of black people in the horror. And he's actually right on that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
They actually made a movie a year ago, 2 years ago, called The Blackening.
The Blackening?
Yeah, it's one of those one of those stupid movies that they tried to treat serious. It's it's an odd watch, but it's called The Blackening.
Never heard of that one before.
Never heard of it.
It's all about how the first kill is usually a black person. The way that they went about it, and
Yeah, they do that. They do that a lot.
Yeah, well, it's not all the time. There are exceptions.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right, but they were going for that stereotype.
Yep.
So they made a story that's all black people. Okay, who's the first one to get killed? Who's going
White
to
guy.
be the survivor? Who's going to be the killer? Well, guess what? It's the black guy.
Oh, see what Braxton said. The thief, yes, sir, but as my black self, I've been into horror and thriller from go. Yeah.
From the get-go, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we have to have a new breed now that Tony Todd's did. So,
Oh, guys, Joe is going to log off. His back is really causing problems.
okay, Joe.
Okay, Joe.
Oh, Joe. Oh, he's gone. Oh man.
I'm going to be honest. I don't know if you guys know. He was kind of like this, almost like just kind of sitting.
I noticed that
upright.
too.
And I was just about to say, I was literally about to ask, saying, Joe, are you all right? Because he didn't look so.
Yeah, I was concerned about that too. I looked at his screen a few times, and I'm like, is he all right?
Yeah.
Well, I was trying to reply to him privately because I wasn't sure he wanted that to be said in public.
Yeah.
I got you. Yeah, I understand. Well, hope he gets better. He's been
Better
going
soon,
through,
Joe.
yeah, I just feel bad for him. He's been going through a lot lately.
Yeah.
Well, like I just said with
Yeah, it's been a rough 2 weeks for him.
Yeah.
not just him, of course. Like I mentioned that Nikki, she's about to go see a doctor herself, and then Irene, just like a day or two ago, she was in the hospital herself. It seems like everyone's having all these medical issues.
Yeah, everybody's getting sick lately. Man.
They're sick or injured.
Or injured, yeah. Well, either of those, yeah.
And it's never the same thing twice, it seems.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's not. Hey, Tom Bliss is on.
The one thing that always kind of confused me a little bit, because it seemed a little far-fetched, that the literal drop of a bucket to the back of the head would be enough to kill Tommy Ross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a heavy. I mean, that bucket was metal, so it's a heavier, and it also still had some blood in it. And yeah, like if it hits a certain area of the head, then yeah, it can cause unconsciousness. Like if that bucket didn't kill him, then the fire that burned the place down definitely did.
Yeah, but the way that it looked in the movie, that it did kill him on impact.
It definitely would have caused
Right.
like a clear
It
concussion.
would have knocked him out for sure.
Well, it would have caused brain damage to him, or at least a really bad concussion.
Yeah. So pretty much, yeah, that little prank that Chris and Billy were doing, yeah, they pretty much led to manslaughter.
It pretty much was, as I would describe, I think the first movie to really show, like truly show a prank going horribly wrong. That's kind of how I see it.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I've seen quite a few movies where there were pranks that went wrong.
Well, there were, yeah, a lot of them. You see that element being repeated in some of the later slasher movies in the early and mid 80s where a prank
Right.
goes horribly wrong. But I think Carrie was really one of the first. Now, don't get me wrong, there have been other movies where you
Sure.
had pranks go wrong too, but they definitely did not go as gruesome or as violent as
Right.
Carrie did. You know, like if you see other movies like from the early 70s, 60s, 50s, and beyond, they were most of the time just harmless pranks and everybody laughs about it. But this is the first one where it's like they really messed up big time. Kind of almost similar, like, Kate, you would know this, and so would you, Don. Kind of almost like how I prank a lot in Minecraft.
During
And
that
Robert, too.
time,
That's the, stealing people's diamond swords and like or
No, no,
diamond
not just that. I'm talking about like
stealing people's diamond stuff and then losing them is not a prank.
no, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about other things.
No,
when you
Like,
look at movies and villains from back in the 50s and 60s, they're not quite as diabolical as what you see now.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
totally.
right there in the 70s where you see much crueler villains,
Yeah.
and high schoolers getting more devious with what they're doing,
They
and
are.
Stephen King
Mm,
basically capitalized on and went straight for the jugular, literally.
Ah,
He really did.
yeah.
Renee here says again, just catching up. Renee here says, I didn't even know this myself. Said, do you guys know that the mother of the cheerleader who made fun of Carrie passed away last week?
Oh,
Who is that?
I'm not sure which cheerleader she's referring to because there
yeah,
were
I
a
was
couple
about to say that could be
cheerleaders.
anybody.
Yeah, because there was a couple cheerleaders that made fun of her, so I don't
Yeah.
know
Is
which
it
one
is it
Renee's
mother of
referring to.
is mother of Sue Snell? Is it?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm only seeing what she wrote in the comments.
I got you. Let's see. Oh,
Hey,
there's
you
one
don't have to give us a name.
Yeah, if you can give us a name, Renee, we'll look it up.
for sure. Oh, one thing I would like to know is where did the white where Carrie and Margaret where did they get that bathtub that Carrie uses in the end? Because when she goes out to take a bath, she turns on the faucet. 10 seconds later, as she is undressing, the bathtub is already filled with water in 10 seconds. And I'm like, it takes like 12 minutes for my bathtub to fill, and yes, I timed it.
It's called John.
You
It's
use
called
the phone.
movie magic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nine laps.
It's like the fastest filling bathtub ever.
Well, you can't spend 12 minutes in a movie waiting for a bathtub to fill up.
Oh, I know. Well, I know that. Yeah, I'm just saying. That's just one moment that I just like poking fun at. But and yeah, I time it because I'm just like I don't want to just sit and wait for 12 minutes for a bath. I want to see what else I can do. Is there something I need to fix in my condo? Can I? Let's see. I'll read a book for a little bit. I want to keep myself. I'm the kind of guy who just always wants to keep being on the move, doing
Oh,
something.
you mean you don't sit there and stare at it filling up?
No, I set a timer. I'm just like, and just to be on the safe side, I usually set it for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
There's since you brought that scene up, there's also something very unsettling about that because here
Yep.
she comes. She literally came from a bloodbath, well, and going into a bloodbath, and she's just casually cleaning herself off, washing her hair and everything, and by the time that she gets all cleaned up and comes out of that bathroom, it's like she is a completely different person, completely different attitude,
Yeah,
almost as if she did not do what she had just done.
right. It's like yeah, after everything happened, after she got home and like calmed down, it's just like, man, it's like how do you even begin to deal with this? Like having telekinetic powers, like and knowing like what kind of chaos it could create.
My thinking on this whole thing is that when the blood dropped on her and Tommy Ross was killed by the bucket, very true, Chris. Um, she snapped and blacked out,
Yes.
and that whole time from there until she takes that bath, she is not her.
No, it's like that. That's also you make a good point, Jeremy. It's like it's just she just. I mean, and again, I just like how she kind of has almost gives that look like she's actually angry, but it's really just this blank expression. It's almost like, it's like her eyes were open, but she's not there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's not
Like-
in control of
like
herself
Good
anymore.
Ash, bad Ash, good Ash, bad Ash.
Right. Hey,
Who's this guy here? Who's Nick Poosh's horror channel? That's a new
yeah,
viewer.
I was about to say, did you see this, Nick? I was about to say,
I
is this
was
somebody you
about
know?
I'm gonna say right now, I literally thought for a second, and Kate and Robert, you know this, I literally thought it would have been Freedom when he was impersonating like all our when he
Yeah.
was yeah.
Well,
Tom had a viewer yesterday during his Tom's World show, and it was actually his viewer Freedom, but he was
Yeah.
impersonating 3 channels. First, he was calling himself Pickle Nick, and then he referred to himself as "This is Tom's World too," and Tom's like, "No, no, 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 no," and then I think he also impersonated Kate too.
yeah. Well, either way, welcome, Nick. Nick Push. Yeah, welcome.
Scylla
Well,
Pointer.
and real quick, I get back. Renee just
Hey,
got
Kobe.
back.
All right,
The,
that's okay. That's who died a couple weeks,
yeah, Sue
Uh,
Snell.
3 weeks ago.
Oh, it is her mom.
Real
Yeah.
name was Amy.
Oh yeah. Let's see. What else did I want to bring up? Oh yeah, the one thing that was different about Sue Snell that was from the novel. In the novel, it turns out in the end that she was pregnant with Tommy's baby, so that made it even more tragic. It's like now that kid's gonna not gonna have a father in his life, which they did left that out of this version of Carrie in the 1976 version, but they did adapt that into the 2013 remake. Oh, another big scene that was left out of the book was the town destruction
Yeah,
because it wasn't just the high school that got destroyed. Carrie was unleashing her wrath all over the downtown area.
Yeah,
No.
Yeah, she was setting
gas
things on
stations
fire.
exploding.
Yeah, I'm
Mm.
sorry, Jeremy.
Gas stations exploding.
Yes.
yeah, like everything.
Yeah.
That's a
Actually,
surprise that
if I
they.
remember right, the gas station exploded right after she killed Chris and
And Billy.
Billy.
Yeah, they adapted that into the remake. Yes.
That's a surprise that they left that out in a film, but I
Yeah.
guess it wasn't directed by Michael Bay. So.
Well, it's because they didn't have the budget
Oh,
to.
can you imagine if he did one of Steven's movies?
Well, it's the main reason why they didn't adapt the town destruction from the book was because they didn't have the budget in the 1976 version.
Yeah,
But,
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
that would have been quite
They,
expensive.
they did adapt that into the 2002 TV remake that Braxton pointed out. Yeah, so
Mm,
yeah, hearing it from the book, it was so like I love the way Stephen King describes things, every little detail when it comes to like from something like
yeah.
simple, like walking down the street, noticing everything, but and also like how detailed the killings are. Like the man is very descriptive. He's brilliant.
I honestly, I think that if they had included the destruction of the town, would probably have been a little too much for Carrie.
Yeah,
Because when you look at it as a whole, in the book, it jumps around all over the place.
Yeah, it does, especially in the last third of the book.
Yeah.
It does.
yeah, it does.
In
Yeah,
the movie, it is basically your typical teen drama show, right up to the point um, where the blood drops. And then
Yep.
from that point on, it's a horror movie.
Yeah.
So the first hour is just literally a drama.
That's what I was explaining earlier. Was that it's really most of the time kind of more of a drama film than an actual horror film for the most.
Yeah. Totally.
So I really liked the pacing and the structure of that movie.
Yeah, they definitely nailed it with that. Yeah.
They did.
Yes. But I mean, one of the best redeeming qualities about the 2013 remake. I mean, say what you will about it, they did good job with the casting. Like Chloe Grace Moretz playing Carrie. Let's see, Julianne Moore playing Margaret White. Carrie's mom. Let's see.
Anything that she is in is good.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see. I believe Judy Greer. Yeah, she was. She was played the Mrs. Collins role in that remake. I remember her voicing Cheryl in Archer. Yeah, I mean, I know she's known for all sorts of things, but yeah, that's one of the roles that stands out for me as far as her voice acting goes.
I also like how iconic Carrie is and how it's parodied so much.
Oh yeah, it always is.
Oh,
It's
Yeah,
yeah.
throughout the years. Yes.
that's when you know a film or a story in general. A story is so iconic is when it's parodied.
Oh yeah. Oh, I totally agree with you, Braxton. Like Billy did look older in that remake. Yeah. Way too old for Chris.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, totally.
I'll,
hey guys.
I'll have to rewatch that. I don't remember what Billy looked like. The only Billy really is just everybody in the first movie.
Oh yeah. And like I said, Chris and Billy's deaths were definitely much more gruesome in the remake.
Yeah. The
One second.
with Carrie coming out before that one, all of the horror movies were either very brutal or not.
Yep.
This one had a combination of both, but it was that build up to the explosion of the violence.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
It wasn't like a teeter totter throughout the movie like what you see in most others. Because in most other shows, especially in the '70s, you start a horror film out with that big kill to get everybody in there. Then you have a little downtime. Somebody else gets killed. Then you have a little downtime. Somebody else gets killed. For this one here, this is a straight on climb and casino.
Right. I no doubt in my mind the original Carrie movie definitely had the best camera work done
Yeah.
because my favorite was
Mm.
that long pan shot where it goes from what was it, Norma, PJ Souls' character, like her and like them collecting the prom king and queen ballots, then her and making out with a guy who was in on it, tossing the real ballots aside, and then him giving her the ballots that they worked towards Carrie and Tommy's favor, then walked back and passed those ballots, those fake ballots, to the staff. Then was signaling to Chris and Billy under the seats. Then showing the rope leading up to the bucket, and from the showing the bucket
Mhm.
towards towards Carrie and Tommy as they were being announced that they were prom king and queen. All of that in one shot. That was
And
phenomenal for
usually,
19.
Really
Yeah.
was.
That was phenomenal for
usually
19.
that goes with it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, for 1976, that was amazing.
It
Oh,
was.
guys, Don,
Yeah.
you'll like hearing this, by the way, because I've been still seeing who's all been tuning in. He was only watching for maybe a minute or two, but I had another fellow investigator. You guys might recognize his name. His name's Carlos Andia, and he likes a lot of my posts, but he was just watching a little bit of the show.
Oh.
He was watching, get this, all the way from Peru in South America.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Nice. Wow. I've never had a viewer from Peru before, so that's incredible.
First timer.
Nice.
He's
Oh,
well, actually, no. He has seen our shows, but usually he watches when it's on the playback. This is the first time that I saw him tune in while we were live. So thank.
Mm.
I don't know if he's watching anymore, but thank you, Carlos. We appreciate it.
yes.
And yeah, I think that's our first South American viewer, I believe.
That's awesome. Yeah, thank you so much. Here, yes. Braxton brings up another difference. In the 2002 version, there are interviews that are done by police to the survivors of the prom massacre. Yeah,
I think that might have been done because of the way that the novel was written.
yeah,
Because
Mm.
the novel is 85% like newspaper clippings and excerpts from
yeah,
memoirs and books, and there's even I think it was the deposition where it's like 4 or 5 pages of questions and answers.
yeah. That's right. They did do that in the book. Yeah.
Mm.
Oh,
So
one
it
thing.
makes sense that they did something like that for the first remake.
Yeah, and what they did adapt in the remake from the book that they didn't do so for the original was Chris's dad coming into the school and complaining about to Mrs. Collins and the principal about Chris not being able to attend prom because and being in suspension and thinking he's going to use his ability as a lawyer to get back at them. It's like
And then the principal turns it right back at him, say, "Okay, well, we're gonna sue you for the actions of your daughter."
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
He did, yeah.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Oh my god.
That
Yeah.
shut up real quick.
Yeah. Perfect. Oh, wait, what was it? With Norma, she got some problem balance. She jumped back saying, I can't believe it. Swimming with disease. Oh, yeah.
I don't remember that one.
Yeah, I think that was adapted in the remake. Yeah. But, yeah, that's what I love about. That's what I one redeeming quality about the 2013 remake. It's like say what you will about it, but I do like how they added more from the book than the original version did. I mean, it's like yes, the original version will always be a classic to me. Always be on like a film that I would love to go back to. But I do appreciate the effort that the 2013 version put into trying to be more like the book.
Yeah.
The 2002, yeah, 2002. It would have been so much better if they had better cinematography in it because it
Oh yes,
looks so amateurish. But a lot of TV movies did back in that time.
Don't show that comment. That's just spam.
You
It's all right. I'm on it. I'll get rid of it.
don't even acknowledge it.
Yeah.
It's
Well, no,
because
I'm
oh
just letting
if you
Don. I'm
do,
kind of letting
if
Don
you
know.
do acknowledge it in any way, then they're going to keep coming back. That's why when you see it, don't say anything about
Okay. Okay.
okay,
it. Where was I? Oh, yeah. When you take a TV movie and an actual movie and put them side by side, you can tell the big difference in the cinematography and how this one looks so professional and this one looks like it's made by kids from high school. And
yeah,
2002 Carrie was definitely that.
mm-hmm. For sure.
Tom, we talked about that earlier. He's talking about John Travolta.
Yep.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, I think Saturday Night Fever and Urban Cowboy really saved his career because his first two movies were horror roles, and if he had done one more of that, then his career probably would not have gone as well as it did.
Yep.
Yeah, that is absolutely true. Yeah. So, oh wow. Yeah, yeah. Carrie like definitely has its place in history. You know, Stephen King's first published novel that really took off, and this movie really. I feel like the movie really did it justice.
Yeah. Also, 3 years ago, this movie was put in the the National Film Registry by Library of Congress as being culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant.
That's right.
Wow.
Yeah,
So that's another feather in his cap.
yeah,
Hmm.
that's true. I
Uh,
wish they would do the same thing for Dawn of the Dead, the original from 1978, because they did that for Night of the Living Dead, and I think Dawn of the Dead also has historical significance as well.
Yeah.
Hmm.
see, I want to see The Shining did too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna I'm gonna look right now, but I think they did that for The Shining. They did in 2018.
Hmm. Yeah. Oh,
So
Yeah.
that's it.
I mean,
Stephen
they
King now
deserve it.
has two movies in the registry.
Yeah. They deserve it. Definitely.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Just love how good movies like that get that kind of treatment that they deserve.
Yeah.
And
So if you haven't watched Carrie, where have you been? You
Yes.
have to watch it.
Yeah. Yep. You've all had almost 50 years to see it now.
Yeah.
yeah, no kidding, slacker. So when you talk about Carrie, you cannot talk about Carrie without recognizing Tabby, because if not for her, Carrie would never have existed, and if it didn't, then who knows?
Hey,
Uh,
I know, Thomas. That's the joke. Hey, hey, Nicole. Hey, how's it
Oh,
going?
he
Oh,
actually responded to
Oh, hey, Nicole from the Wicked Wicked sisters. Good to see
Yay.
you. Haven't
no,
seen
this
you
is
in a while.
Nicole
So
gets
had
here.
it not been
Oh
for
wait, yeah, I know this. I know who this is.
not have the career that he has now, because without Tabby, there'd be no Carrie, and who knows what his career trajectory would have looked like.
Right, that's true. Absolutely true. Hey, Kobe, how's it going? Thanks for tuning in. Yep. It's, hey, Nick is only 18. Yeah, no, no, he's not.
No, 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 he is not.
I was literally gonna say, as Kate would usually say, well,
He's 13,
Yeah,
not
if you
8.
haven't seen Carrie, where have you been hiding?
yeah,
No.
Nicole is absolutely right on that.
Yeah.
I
So
originally saw Carrie on
watch the
AMC.
movies, all three of these, and read the book.
Yes, read the book, and also, if possible, if you're interested in audiobooks, definitely read that. Have that play that because Sissy
Yeah.
Spacek narrates it.
Wow.
Carrie being narrated by Carrie.
Oh, jeez,
Pretty much.
it's not every day that you have the actual character reading the story about her character.
Mm,
Uh,
Oh,
no,
I love Sinners. Love it.
What
What's
is
Chris said?
it
Sinners.
also happened with
Oh,
Holly.
Sinners? Yeah, I still need to see that.
Yeah, it did happen with Holly. Justine, I can't think of her last name, but the one who played Holly in the Missing Mercedes series, she read the book Holly. Uh,
Mhm.
the only thing that I wish is I wish that Morgan Freeman read Shawshank Redemption.
Oh, that would be
oh,
incredible.
It
I
would have
would love
been
that.
cool. Now
It
Frank
was
Miller did it.
You,
He did a
you,
damn good
no.
job, but still, when I read the Shawshank story, I read
Mhm.
it in Morgan Freeman's voice.
Oh, like I like
that must have taken you a while.
yeah.
You know what?
I had a
I was
friend. I had
gonna
a
say,
friend who's. I had
as
a
they
friend.
did, like with the Family Guy parody of it, as Cleveland said, why they chose enchilada night, I will never know.
Oh my god. But I had a friend who does the voice, who was able to do Morgan Freeman's voice, but he doesn't anymore because he's afraid it comes off as like as kind of racist because he's white, but being able to do the voice of a black guy, it's like
Yeah,
yeah,
it's hard
so
to.
yeah.
Um,
I'm just saying, yeah, like I knew someone who did that voice, but he doesn't really do it anymore.
Nicole, she's asking me this. So there might be a problem. I mean, I'm still keeping my fingers crossed about going to
Okay.
OSR this year. Unfortunately, I can tell you right now, Tom's not going to be able to make it this time because of his recent surgery. I'm hoping to have the final answer by tomorrow, so I might be going with someone else. Trust me, I really want to go to Parapsychon this year. I'd love to get another picture with you guys and everybody else.
That's
But
this coming weekend.
yeah, it's this upcoming weekend.
No,
Yeah,
normally it's on my daughter's birthday, which is the following weekend.
yeah. Well, I told you about that before. That it was going to be the 16th and 17th.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I did. I told you that, and you even said that before. That for first time that
No,
was the weekend that it wasn't on your daughter's birthday.
I I forgot.
Yeah. Well, anyways,
My memory is not so good lately.
that's.
I got the memory of an 80-year-old.
But anyways, Nicole, yeah, I'll
Yeah,
let
give
you
it
know
back.
by tomorrow of what's going on. I should have the final answer. I really hoping I can go because I miss you guys. I'd like to see you guys there, and yeah, just
Well,
In a
definitely.
Wow.
couple minutes. Oh my god, Braxton,
Oh my God, you saw Sinners 7 times, Braxton? Wow,
Wow.
impressive.
it just came out.
he obviously clearly loves that movie.
He found a way to watch it again and again.
Damn.
Dom,
I
why don't
was
you do it
actually
with me
thinking
again, man?
today
Yeah.
that I
Hey,
haven't been to a movie theater in, I don't know, 8 years, and I really,
what?
want to. Yeah, I haven't gone to a theater since before COVID.
Damn.
Well, that'll save you money.
True. Yeah. Um, but I think either for the Life of Chuck or actually probably the Long Walk, I'll go to.
Mhm.
You got it,
Okay.
Nicole.
Yeah, that is if they don't come out on Peacock first.
Well, if
Mm.
this is a movie that some people are seeing over and over again, and like I said, Don, you're going to have to come see Sinners with me then, because I still haven't seen it.
I've heard
Oh,
that
nice.
Sinners is very good. Is that the
It,
one with Michael B. Jordan?
yes, it is. He plays
Yes,
a dual.
yes.
What's impressive about it? He plays a dual role in it. So that's a first.
So,
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
he's amazing.
Renee, to comment from my
That,
personal page, um, no, you're first off. Renee first says she's heading to bed. Didn't mean to take over the Facebook chat. No, Renee, you are good. I always appreciate the comments you're coming in. And she was also asking all of us this. There's another Paracon she brought up, which this one's a little bit closer, by the way, for us, Don.
Yeah.
Are any of you coming to the Rock Island Paracon in Rock Island, Illinois this year?
never heard of it.
That is,
That's
I
in the Davenport area.
yeah, it's close to the Illinois-Iowa border.
No, it's right on that border.
Oh yeah, it's right on it's on the border of Illinois and Iowa.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a 6.5 hour drive for me straight through.
for us, that's only about 2.5, maybe 3 hours at most. It's not even that far.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping to get out there. I actually, Jeremy, I think Ernie and Denise Pack, I think, are going to be heading out to that.
I don't know.
If
I
I
never
find
heard
a,
of
if I find a banner,
so I don't know anything about it.
if I find a banner, I'll send it to you because it's not for a couple months anyway, just so you have the knowledge of it. But to answer your question, Renee, I'm hoping to make it out. I mean, I don't know about the rest of you guys. Nicole's going to be there too. So, yeah, I'm hoping to be out there for that one.
Yeah.
Speaking of dual roles, that was why I loved the third Sonic the Hedgehog movie.
Jim Carrey, yes, playing Robotnik and the grandfather. Yes.
Yeah,
So good.
the fight scene
Oh
between
my
them,
gosh. So
I,
good.
I was crying. That was Jim Carrey's
He
best
he
performance
is
of the year.
perfect
He
for the
is.
role. Like as Dr. Robotnik.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Great
I want.
Better as his grandfather.
Yep. I wanted to respond to this when we were talking about like white people doing black character voices.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
terrible.
the guy who voices Cleveland, it's not him anymore. No, he stepped down from the role
Yeah.
after. Yeah, but there's a YouTuber who has been doing the voice of Cleveland for years. Someone who I think is hilarious. His name is he goes by the name Azrez. He's the voice of Cleveland now.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah,
No.
he's the way he like impersonates all these different voices. He could do it like just about as well as me. Like seriously, the guy's amazing.
Oh.
Braxton, I got to ask you: is that movie on a streaming service? Because I can't imagine going to a theater this
Oh, here.
night.
Here,
You
Braxton
can.
says he watched it on BTV app.
Oh, okay,
Mm.
I did not see that. BTV app? I never heard of that one.
BTV app. I've never heard of that one either.
Yeah.
You know what that is, Don?
I think, yeah, BTV. Yeah, I've heard of it. I just I didn't know it was an app.
I'm really sorry, guys, but I have to go now.
Oh yeah, we're
I
about
just
to end
want to say
this.
Yeah,
thank
we're
you.
actually gonna call. We're wrapping things up right now.
Okay, I have to go now because somebody's woken up. But I will
Oh,
see you. I
Good
will
night, Kate.
see you
Have
next
a good
week,
night, Kate.
guys.
See ya.
See you next week.
See you next week.
Bye.
All right, so that's going to conclude this edition of the Fear Fans podcast. Can't wait for the next one. I'm trying to debate as to which one we will be talking about. I'm torn between Final Destination because the new one's coming out, and also something I wanted us to cover for a while now, since that we covered the first one last year, Paranormal Activity 2. Or and also like somewhere down the road, a little bit further down the road, cover more Friday the 13th movies because we need to get back to that.
There is. I will tell you
How
this.
many have you done so far?
How many have we done? We've done the first 4.
Okay.
So
When you get to 8, that's when I'll join because I want to be a part of 8 and 10.
oh, you got it.
Yeah, I already know about 10. I will say this: if we do cover Final Destination next week, if that becomes the movie of choice, Rochelle might actually join for that one. Which actually, let me just make sure.
Who?
Oh wait, actually no. Well, she might because she's starting her new job just the day before on the 19th. So, and again, she said she was going to be mostly closing. So I don't know. Even then, I can't say for sure if she's going to come on with us, but we'll just have to wait and see how next Tuesday will work.
When does Final Destination come out?
It comes out this weekend.
Yeah.
Oh well, then you might as well do the second one next week.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
There's one movie I was thinking about. I haven't watched it yet, but I thought this would also take another direction because we haven't done anything like this yet, Don. But even though it's kind of more drama related, it still has numerous horror elements to it too. I'm surprised we haven't covered a film that has been based off of like a real life serial killer or something like that.
Yeah.
Now, here's one that you guys need to do that you've never done. You need to do Todd Sweeney.
Oh,
Sweeney
Todd.
Todd. Yes, I agree.
Yeah, because I don't think you guys had covered one that was a musical.
Yeah, we haven't. I had a few movies in mind that I had that. I also had Little Shop of Horrors.
Ooh, that'd be good.
Yeah, I love that.
Oh, wait,
I
are
love
you
that.
you talking about the remake, the musical one?
Yep.
Because if you're going to do that, you're going to have to do the original one too.
Yeah, the original, which also had Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, he is very unsettling in that one.
Oh yeah.
The movie that I'm thinking about checking out, I'm going to try to watch it sometime this week, and if it's good, I'm going to try to show it to you eventually soon. Don and this might be funny enough. It's also associated with a location that's rumored to be haunted, and it's in Indiana too, Jeremy. It was a movie called The Haunting of Fox Hollow Lake. I was great, Fox Hollow Farm.
Oh,
That was which in reality that was where real life serial killer Herb Baumeister lived, and the people that the family that moved into that house afterwards had a lot of paranormal experiences there, and they used to have it open, in fact, for investigations, but I'm not sure if they do them anymore. But there has been a movie made on it, so I'm going to check it out sometime this week. Depending on my allergies, of course, and I'll get back to you on how it is and see if that might be something that we could eventually cover sometime down the road.
right.
Okay, I found BTV and it's free.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nicole said there's an entire Jason from Indianapolis thing going on.
Ooh.
I wonder what that could be all about.
Well, we'll have to look into that.
About
So, yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this us covering Carrie on the Fearfans podcast. I had such a good time with this.
I give it 2 thumbs up.
Oh yeah,
And
same here.
also, since Chris is watching, I've been meaning to say this, by the way, so I apologize. Well, actually, no, I already did. Happy belated birthday once again. His
Yeah,
birthday.
happy birthday, Chris, for the other day.
Yep. So hope you guys enjoyed and have a good night. So we covered the first Final Destination. We covered like we might cover end up covering the second one.
Yeah.
Because we did cover the first one a while back. So I
Yeah,
think
over a year ago.
yeah, we will do that. Yeah, the second one. Thanks for always doing this down.
And because of that, that's got a lot of people scared shitless when they're driving.
Behind long trips.
Yeah,
Well, and not to,
Dogs on it.
yeah,
Well,
that's
and
the goal
not
of Final Destination.
and not to go too much into the subject matter, considering what's happening right now with all these plane crashes and stuff like that, it gives kind of that sense of realism right now.
Yeah.
That's something to be concerned about. Definitely.
Yeah, I guess.
That's probably as close as you can get to a real Final Destination scenario.
Yes, but we'll get to that when we cover Final Destination movies again soon. So
Perhaps I'm going to have to be able to find the time to watch BTV because I am so swamped with everything. I barely had time to do this show. But since
I honestly never even heard about BTV, although I remember several years ago of a music website I used to go, which I don't think exists anymore. I heard of BMP3, but I don't think that exists. But I've never heard of BTV before.
never
Well, thankfully, it isn't in Minecraft. Otherwise, we'd be going beams.
yeah, always.
Well, you know what? They had a B on the icon.
All right. So,
what we're going to do tonight is we're going to make light bees and buzz off.
all right. Yeah. So Hope you guys enjoyed, and hope you have a good night, everybody. Take care.
Yeah,
Good night.
Bye.